Yes, I mean, I now go from cricket commentator to social commentator and officially nagging parent. And my involvement is as the parents of two girls who are now growing up, 25 and 22 respectively.
I think you'll find they're grown up,
driving.
David. I know you don't want them to, but at that age they are technically adults.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they are drivers. They each have a car, and they've each probably got, I don't know, they might have had speeding fines, parking tickets. Luckily, nothing much more serious than that yet. But it's one of those things. I mean, you're absolutely right. I am a firm believer in making my own mistakes, allowing my children to make their mistakes. But you want them to make the little mistakes and the medium-sized mistakes that are not going to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
So you want them to grow up, and as part of one's life education is making those mistakes. And I don't want to talk you through their mistakes or my mistakes particularly, but driving is one of those things where, let's face it, if you get it wrong at the wrong end of the scale, the other end of the scale, that can be tragic and catastrophic.
It is terrifying, and you're right. Wrong place, wrong time, or one silly mistake could be terminal, and we forget the power of these cars, and they're so fast, and we're travelling more than we ever did.
Well, I mean, for instance, I've used an example where the other day I was on the M4, stuck for 2.25 hours because of an accident ahead. Now, at the end of that, as you go past, two wrecked cars, and you've seen the emergency services, so the fire truck's been up there, the ambulance has been up there, the police have been up there. Your first thought is for the people involved in that accident, hoping that they are okay, is sort of the simple way of putting it. But the signs are that, someone's been badly hurt, and that's a horrible thing to contemplate. So you sympathise. My first thought is to sympathise with them. But then, of course, you think on as to about, thank God it's not yourself, and even more importantly, thank God it's not your children who are involved in something like that. And it's something I've had near misses over the years, over the sort of last, 40-odd years plus driving. I've done some very silly things with cars, I have to say. So it is very much a question of saying, do as I say, not necessarily as I did. And as a man who's lost a car in the lake in St. Moritz once, that's one of those things you hope no one else has to do ever. But you just want them to be aware of the perils. So, for instance, Direct Line's thing is this Drive Plus box, which monitors how young people drive, whether they're accelerating rapidly, speeding, braking too quickly, what time of day or night they're driving, and the incentive at the end being that if you are judged by the Drive Plus box to be a good driver, you get money off your insurance premiums. So there's a financial incentive, and it's actually a way as a parent of sort of kind of nagging, but without nagging from a distance. So you're not there sort of wagging your finger. You've got a black box in a car doing the wagging for you.
It's subliminal because these kids have moments of madness, and especially the young ones. You hear these horror stories of how they go out and they're just having so much fun. But of course, driving's not fun. It's incredibly serious, especially if you've got a HGV behind you.
There are so many circumstances, so many situations, as we all know. There can be something behind you, something in front of you, something coming from the side of you. Sometimes it is pure bad luck. Most of the time, you think back to the things that, for instance, we've got wrong, I've got wrong, where most of the time you think, I could have done something different. My first accident was the family car which had a long and accident-free history. It had been around Africa. We used to live in, my father was based in Dar es Salaam, in what was then Tanganyika, now Tanzania. And we took this car as we left the country up into the game parks, dirt roads, Murram roads. We took it down through Mozambique, South Africa, put it on a boat back to England, kept it as a family car for the next, 11, 12 years. I passed the test. The car is now mine. It took me about 6 weeks to put it into a hedge in Leicestershire. Luckily, no injuries. The car was not going to survive that, sadly. But no one was hurt as such. It didn't hurt anyone else. So luck is on your side from that point of view. And it was as simple as a car with sort of not the modern technology, obviously, but it was as simple as a little bit of rain, a country road, a slippery surface, a skid, and suddenly it's all over. And not having the skill. So it's, there are all sorts of things you can do. You can sort of send your children to skid pans, which they probably quite enjoy, actually. But it was just one of those moments where I just got it wrong.
How do we get one of these little boxes if we want one?
Very easy. Directline.com. The campaign there, this research is backed by, the campaign is called Get Off My Back, which of course can work in both directions for nagging parents and nagging children. And just look for the Drive Plus box, and it's as simple as that.